Ravenol has been developing high-performance lubricants for the automotive industry since the 1940s, and motorsport is a vital proving ground for that technology, with associations from the grassroots of the sport right to the very top as official lubricants partner for the SportPesa Racing Point Formula One team. And I'm aiming high because today I'm going to take you on a tour behind the scenes at the factory, the heart of this partnership, the place where the cars are built. And I've picked a good week to do it as well. The excitement is high. We're just 4 days away from lights out at the 2019 British Grand Prix. And from the entrance to the factory here, you can actually see the famous Silverstone circuit. But before any action goes on the tarmac out there, a lot of hard work and preparation must go on behind the scenes in here. Come with me. Okay, so I know, like me, the first thing you want to see is the racing car. So here it is, Lance Stroll's number 18 car in the race bay. But we'll come back to this. We have to start at the beginning, so follow me. Now, before we go back down to the race bay and give you an exclusive look at where the cars are prepared prior to a race weekend, I thought we'd give you a whistle-stop tour of the build process, which starts right here in the design office. Every single one of these computer screens in this vast office, and the other one working on next year's regulations, translates to something you will see on a race weekend for the SportPesa Racing Point Formula One team. That is a lot of computer and a lot of brain power. Formula One teams are constructors, which means they design and build the cars from scratch, which means this whole operation is based around manufacturing. Everything you see in the design shop is piped down to, for example, the machine shop here, which builds everything that is metal on the car. Now, this fascinates me. Even something as simple in our minds as a wheel nut has secret parts to it. So we're going to have a look in there, but we're going to have to be careful what we show you. Come on. It's really true that a lot of Formula One technology filters down to road cars, and everyone knows about carbon fibre, and in part, Formula One had a big part to play in the part that carbon fibre now plays in road car and other technologies and industries such as aviation and marine. And what you see here are parts which are vacuum bagged, which will soon be carbon fibre components on the car. We're in the laminating room. This is where the carbon fibre gets prepared before going down to the autoclave. I'm going to go down to the autoclave now. I'll meet you there, but first have a look around and see how it's all put together in here. Okay, so you've been in the laminating area, you've seen all the composite components being prepared, ready to come down here to the autoclave. It's basically a giant pressure cooker. The parts are baked so they'll be really strong on the car out on the circuit. And talking of the circuit, one of the racing drivers, Sergio Perez, has just arrived here at the factory. So I'm going to go and meet him, and you get to meet him in just a minute. So Sergio, you've been in Formula One 10 years now. The sport has changed so much in that time. Can you tell us a few of the big changes?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest one that I've been through is the engine. Going from V8 to the hybrid era, that was the biggest change I went through.
Has that been a good change, do you think, for the sport?
I love the sound of the Formula One, so that's something that we miss. But on the other hand, Formula One has to be the pinnacle in technology to attract the biggest manufacturers in the world, so I think it's a logical move.
Welcome to Mission Control, so called because whenever there's a car on the racetrack or there's a driver in the simulator, there's a support team of engineers in here gathering data just as they would at the track side. And if you can imagine the Australian race, for example, which takes place English time in the middle of the night, these engineers in here have to come in at actual race time. So there's a night shift. They run the race back at base. Okay, so we've designed the car, we've gone through the laminating rooms, we've gone to the autoclave, we've been to the machine shop, we've built the car, and here it is. We're back in the race bay. Now normally these two bays here are a hive of activity because the two race cars come back from whatever race, they get here, they get stripped down, they get rebuilt ready for the next race with then new parts and new development that needs to go into them, ready to go back on the track and go out and get some more points for the team. And of course, just 5 minutes walk from here right now, preparations are ongoing at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, and it all starts here in the race bay. First of all, Otmar, talking from a Ravenol point of view, they're so proud to be involved with SportPesa, Racing Point Formula One team.
Well, and we're lucky and proud to have them. We value all of our technical partners, especially Ravenol, and we are very selective in who we take on, and they've been a great partner of ours, and long may it continue.
So here we are right back where we started at the reception to the factory of the SportPesa Racing Point Formula One team, a team with huge ambition and aspiration. And as you heard from Sergio Perez himself, the best is still to come from this partnership.